going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video is special guest Sean Higgs. I'm sure you guys recognize Sean from other YouTube platforms. Maybe you follow him on X, but undeniably one of the better guys in the industry, and we're lucky to have him here going over NFL Week 2. If you guys appreciate the content, definitely drop a like on today's video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. If we get enough love on today's video, maybe we'll actually get Sean back in the future. Sean, I put a couple of your links in the description below in terms of your socials, but why don't you take a second and let everybody know where they can find you on a daily basis?
Well, first, thanks, Dan. I mean, we've chatted before in comment sections and stuff like that, so it's cool to be on. I know you got Jesse on here, who I've done some stuff with before.
We'll see if we can get him on here.
Yeah, he's big time now. I don't know if they hold these guys to confidentiality agreements. You think he's dating some kind of supermodel or something, but. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, Twitter, Mr. Sean Higgs. At the YouTube, I do my little midday money every day, 7 days a week. And we're going to talk Week 2 football. I do look at lines, as you know. I like to do that on Sunday nights at halftime where I go over all the games.
Yep.
And I was dabbling this year. I started last week doing like a pre-looky on Wednesday when the lines come out for like 2 weeks ahead. That
super look ahead.
A super look ahead. But, here we are. It's Tuesday. We're doing this. The lines have already moved since Sunday. We're talking before we got on air. I mean – folks, you got to have a little something in the kitty for games ahead of time. And as much as I like to put out content for a long time, Dan, whoever you watch, you need to be ahead of lines because long term, I know people don't think it's valuable. It is. Over the course of a season, having a better number, you're going to win a little more than you lose.
Yep. Cool. So, before we jump into these games, do you have any general takeaways from Week 1 or anything that you were expecting that surprised you?
I was not expecting the Titans to blow a 17-0 lead. I had the points there. That's a terrible way to go down. I didn't think Carolina was going to be as atrocious as they were. I had the Panthers.
But that was popular pick.
I grabbed the Chargers. That game was going. I'm like, I'm taking the Chargers right now, -3. I said I saw Bryce Young come out of whether at the end of the first quarter or whatever the case may be, a timeout, and then they take a delay a game. I was like, oh, no. I don't understand, and this will be a Sean rant here, a Higgy rant, and I've said this before with these quarterbacks, these young quarterbacks, even starters, how don't you play these guys in the preseason? No, we're not going to play guys in the preseason.
I know, it's crazy.
The quarterback play in the NFL is atrocious. You have, insane. 5 or 6 good quarterbacks. I mean, you got Lamar, Mahomes, Allen. I mean, you want to put Burrow in there. I mean,
you got a couple on the outside.
Cousins off injury. Yeah, you got guys. But then there's a drop off of absolute trash, and then rookies. Is Tua really good? I don't know if Tua is really good. I don't know if Hurts is really good. Love looked good for a season. He's hurt. I don't know. Yeah. How don't you let Bryce Young, who was absolutely terrible last year, we're not playing him this year. Michael Penix plays a series or half a game. We saw enough of Penix. We'll put him on the bench. You got a 30-something-year-old off ACL coming. How did he look in Week 1? I'm sure they're wishing they played Penix a little more in the preseason. Holy cow. Terrible. I'm not – don't ever bet the Panthers this year. Panther unders every single game.
Full fade.
How don't you play to get this guy any better? What are they doing?
And with the injury stuff, man, at this point, it's like if you're going to get hurt, then you had bad luck, and it is what it is. You have to play your guys. I mean, we have all these prima donna people waltzing into Week 1 because they held out for money or they didn't want to do this or they didn't want to do this or they sandbagged the preseason for whatever reason just so they could kind of escape it. And unless you're like a 41-year-old quarterback, there's no excuse. And
I get some of the veterans you don't want to play. You don't have to run out your star guy.
You don't have to run Aaron Rodgers out there. Look, I'm a Packers fan. It hurts to see Aaron in Jets green. I thought Aaron was maybe the sharpest player on the team. He was fine. He was delivering passes on target. The team didn't show up. The defense didn't show up.
Well, yeah. Let's start back on the Monday night game. So I thought that was going to be a defensive battle. The Jets couldn't, they were like a wet paper bag on offense or on defense. They just
brutal.
They could not get a stop.
And that was the one metric last year that was the problem. And we know the talent's there.
Dan, these guys last year, they ran. Everything was Zach Wilson's fault. It's not the fact that the guys have 3 different offensive coordinators in his 3 years in New York, or that the offensive line had their Hall of Fame quarterback murdered 30 seconds into the game, or that the other star position players were out. No, it's all on the quarterback who's trying to learn on the fly with behind a offensive coordinator that's not his. The
brutal coach.
For the other guy. So the defense did a lot of talking, and then you had a third-string running back come in and gash you for 180 yards or whatever the heck they did. Not Elijah Mitchell, who's got starts. No, here comes the guy. Who saw this guy coming? Apparently himself, because he said Friday he knew he was playing. That's your performance on Monday Night Football?
Crazy.
Come on, that defense. They do a lot of talking because they can't play. They better talk because the play was atrocious.
I bought into the trap. I
was with you. I was right with you.
I don't know if I had a 4 or 4.5, but I closed at 3.5. I was like, okay, I feel pretty good. It should be a close game. Even if they're down 10, maybe we get a late touchdown from Aaron Rodgers to Lazard or something, and we just get inside the number and get out of there with some money in our pocket. And it was pretty much doomed from the start. So crazy. Yeah, I would say my biggest takeaways from week 1, your Cowboys, I thought looked pretty sharp. Now that game is a balance, right? Do you say the Browns are horrid or the Cowboys look good? And I'm strongly leaning on the Cowboys looking good. I thought that team feels like they feel people not liking them. And they feel, I swear to God, man, that Cowboys energy. I don't like the Cowboys. I'm a Packers fan. We've met them in the playoffs sometimes. Mike McCarthy's over there. I would be the first one to talk trash on the Cowboys if I could. I don't know, man. Dak got paid. He looked sharp. Usually when people get paid, they kind of fall off.
Well, let's see what happens there. I mean, you ran into a Cleveland team.
The breaks from your perspective. I'm not trying to throw a jinx on you.
Yeah. Well, listen, I like the Cowboys under. You have a rebuilt offensive line, and I thought we'd see the defenses shine here. I was expecting a 30-point performance. I thought you get a punt return.
Yeah.
You still got to rebuild offensive line. They didn't think Zeke was good 2 years ago. So now he's 2 years older. Are we sold on that?
He's hurdling people, though.
In week 1.
Yeah.
Against Cleveland, who I can't – the defensive performance. I don't even know how you –
overreaction spot. Too many people in Dallas next couple weeks.
Well, listen, I like Dallas the week 2 because I thought, you know what, they're going to lose to Cleveland, and the Saints I thought would be in some kind of ugly dogfight versus the Panthers. But you had a huge 47-point win, which how many turnovers did Carolina have? I'm not buying. I'm definitely not on the Saints.
No.
Dallas, I got to hold off on because I want to see them play a team that's the Browns game just looked terrible. I mean, no defense.
Deshaun Watson shouldn't be in the NFL. He's horrendous.
Last year I gave the guy a pass. He was out for a year suspended, worked his way back in game shape. Now I don't – again, here's a guy. How is he not playing in the preseason, Dan?
It's over.
How's he not playing in the preseason? And now that, legally he's got some other charges, which they may be able to get out of this guarantee contract.
Yeah.
I'll throw Watson. I mean, who you got? You got Jameis Winston behind him? Sure. DRT, you got what's his name? Huntley, who was a Raven guy who went into the playoffs. You got guys who've won games on this team. It's bizarre how Joe Flacco literally came out of his man cave and was throwing for 360 yards a game on that squad, and this guy can't complete a pass.
You got Judy over there now. I know Njoku got hurt. We'll see what happens with that.
It's a good team.
It's a good team, man. I wish Nick Chubb was 100%. That takes a lot of pressure off a quarterback. But
Ford was good in this filling in though last year.
He's fine. I wish they ran him more, but
that's a weird one there. And what other craziness for?
Well, Bengals are half asleep.
That was
they just do it every and I lost. I'll say it right now. I had a money line parlay, Seahawks Bengals. It was damn near plus odds, and I took it. And it was like 2 minutes in. I'm like, well, this is the Bengals really again. You just consistently show up, and you need 2 or 3 weeks before you want to try. I mean, I'm aware of that. Like when I put out bets that go against long-term trends or history or something, I'm aware of it. I see it. I spend hours and hours and hours every day looking at picks. But I was like, there's no way that this is going to happen. I mean, Joe Burrow's back. I thought the hype, home opener, I thought it'd be enough for a cover. There's a reason I chose the money line in a pick versus laying the points. I'm like, okay, maybe we get
points, may as well be 10.
Bengals.
Yes,
they're a little slow, so I don't want to quite straight bet them. But that's a for sure money line pick. But all the survivor pools and stuff I should have known. That's just how the NFL kind of works out.
I mean,
brutal.
The Patriots are going to have a defense. We saw that last year. They couldn't score offensively.
Yeah, they're coached by a guy.
So they're
horrendous, though. I mean, take advantage of them getting that W because they're overvalued coming into the next 2-3 weeks. They're horrendous. That team's atrocious.
Take the unders as soon as the lines come out because they're going to drop 2 points. Until you see something offensively.
Right.
Now, this one here, Seattle's what, 30? It's a 37 this week, 38. I mean, I don't love the whole cross-country kind of thing, but Denver didn't look all that great. I mean, but defense was there. I think, again, for this game coming up, I don't want to lay with Seattle on the road. I'm not loving that, but under again, I'll look at New England unders.
Yeah.
And unless I'm getting 6, 7, 8 points is the only way I look at them on the road because the defense, you got a shot with a defense.
Yeah.
Even when that game opened at 9, I was like, oh boy. I mean, Cincy should roll these guys, but it's never that easy, especially with a team that has a defense.
Right. Well, we'll get to that game eventually. Let's jump into Thursday here.
Let's do this. Yeah, good one. It's a good
Bills
one.
Catching 1.5. Now I made the lines for today's video last night. So if things have moved a little bit, don't freak out. But Bills, a slight underdog here on the road at Miami. We're looking at a total of 48.5. My initial thoughts, got to be looking at the over in this game, right?
When this came out, I wanted to take Miami. I was like, wow, this is like a 1.5. I'm actually seeing a 2.5. It was 2 earlier. Now it's up to 2.5.
I was thinking Miami as well.
As Miami came out slow, and forget about the Tyreek. I don't think that's why they were slow. I think they just came out kind of lethargic for whatever reason. And the Bills started to slow themselves, had a rally, big game.
Against the Swiss cheese defense.
Yeah, I sort of lean Miami here, but I haven't moved on this one. I get the over, right? We have 2 offenses here, but I think the Bills are more of a run team now. They got a new coordinator.
Complete run team.
So 40.5, I don't know, because the Dolphins, listen, they're going to throw the ball. They're going to try to exploit secondary, use their speed. They got Waddle, Hill, get the ball downfield. Are you sold on Tua doing that? Like, we're just talking about quarterbacks. Am I sold on him?
We're looking at 2s, 2.5s in terms of money line bets, where I think a majority of this handle is, if people have common sense. We're looking at about 50% of bets on Miami, but almost 58% of the money. So a little bit of sharp action on Miami. I would lean Miami on the money line. And if we have enough Bills people to make that money line like very reasonable, I would say Miami money line is probably the play. I mean,
I thought this was going to come down. I didn't think it would go 2.5 or 3. Because someone in my chat there was like, "Oh, it's going to go 3, 3.5." I'm like, I said,
3.5.
Yeah, because he said he brought it up to 3. He said, he had a 3 and he's at 3.5. I said, you got a 3. I said, I saw 1.5s, 2s. I thought this line would come down. Now the Bills the last 3 years have been underdogs 3 times.
Yes,
3, and they're 1-2. But who's that to? Who'd they lose it to? Kansas City.
Right.
All right, so losing to Kansas City in overtime in the championship game when you don't get the ball with 30 seconds left or however they lost that game, that is not Miami, Right. So I don't know how do I take 3-game losses. If you want to take a plus 125, 130 with the Bills, I'm not going to say no. I think I have the better quarterback here, and I think the coaches are awash. Yep. So I don't know though. Total wise, I'm in the air.
Everyone's on the under. Maybe that's because the Bills are going to show up and rely so heavily on a run game and chew clock, and maybe
normally you agree with that. Dan. I get it, but not week one. Week one, it's like we're not tired here. We played a game, but we're still fresh, and ready to go here.
The total September. I got to stay off because if the Dolphins get off to a decent start, we're going to have wild man Josh Allen back there extending plays and trying to play catch up, and they can put points on the board. So I would if I was going to play the under, I'd only play the first half under. I wouldn't want to see 2 or 3 touchdowns come in the fucking fourth quarter alone type thing.
Yeah, it gets out of hand. We start running, bad turnovers, short fields.
Yep. Fourth. Yeah. They go for it on fourth, midfield.
But it's also, it helps that's a night game. It's not like 1 o'clock and it's 93 with a 90% humidity too,
This year, I'll bet some. I bet Monday night, which was, you could almost say dumb. I mean, I like the Jets. We got a full point of closing line value. I felt good about it based on what I could research for week 1. But for the most part, Monday Thursday, Sunday night games. If I'm going to be involved from this point forward, it's probably going to be pretty light.
Yeah. I'm not a big Thursday guy.
Yeah, these standalone games, man. Oof.
It really has to be a good spot for him.
It's got to be a great spot.
You know,
the stars got to align for me to get involved.
Who's coming off a tough Sunday game, right?
Yeah.
Are they banged up? Or you see something like, you know what, I'm just taking this one. This one here, I got nothing on, and I'm not a huge in-game kind of guy watching.
I think the numbers are right. I think if anything, maybe team total over for the Dolphins because this Bills defense, I don't have faith in.
I think what's his name is 9-1, 10-1. I mean, Allen's got good numbers versus Dolphins. He kind of has their number, but I'm not running a bet right now. I want to see where it goes from 2 to 1.5 opener. I want to see if the sharps are on it and they really move up to 3. It won't surprise me because that's where my initial lean was. But I got the better quarterback who could make the play. I want to kind of lean with the dog, but nothing for me in this one. I haven't bet this one.
I agree. Saints catching 6.5 as of last night against the Cowboys. Total 45.5. Interesting there.
Still to see.
What's your initial feel on this one?
I like Dallas, and my feel was Dallas is going to be coming off a loss. The Saints beat up a bad team.
Right.
The line didn't move here. Normally, you think Dallas off a big win, and that line did flip a little. Right, they went to being a fav or a dog. They were favored, then they went to a 3-point dog. I think.
Yep.
Scored a big win, but Dallas has a big name. Not much movement here. Why is that? Is it because the Saints put up 47? I don't like the Saints team. I think Dennis Allen's on the hot seat.
There's even some even sixes out there.
I would take Dallas here.
Money's all over Dallas.
Of course it is. If this one comes down, I'd be like, oh boy. But I think Dallas should win this game. Just on talent, you have
teaser,
Dak,
teaser spot.
Lamb, Cooks. You got enough offense. You got the tight end over the first. They should be able to win this game by a touchdown. And I hate saying that because, Dan, 2.5, 6.5. I want to take the dogs because, they just got to win by 3. They just got to win by 7.
Favorites minus 7.5, man, especially in college football.
Yes. I'm not getting
10.5
in there. Like that half, you think, I'm getting that extra half point. No. This one here I thought would be going up. It hasn't gone up. Worrisome, yes, but I still think, again, who's stopping? I got the best player on defense, and I got the best player on offense, and probably CeeDee Lamb as well. So, coaching-wise, there's a wash. I got 2 trash cans as the coaches, but talent should win out here.
I would give a defensive coach advantage to the Cowboys, though. I think that's pretty important. He looks sharp. I know you played against a washed Browns team, but I don't know, man. They got some people over there on the defensive side of the ball for the Cowboys. I know everybody likes Dak throwing for a lot of yards a game.
They'll be pumped up. Home opener, 1 game in preseason, off a big win. You paid Dak, you paid CD, Micah. It'll be energetic. I know Saints fans will be here in Force, though. They're going to show up in Dallas.
Yeah.
It's not far. They always come, but I think Dallas is just a better team. In this case, we're going anywhere. I'm going better team. Take care of business by 10 here.
I might just tease this one down. I feel like that's extremely extreme. I mean, it happens, but man, Cowboys to lose this game would really shock me. So maybe a teaser leg if you guys are looking at that.
Yeah.
In terms of the total, I do like the over though. I mean, Derek Carr, some capable offense here. I think the Cowboys on that Saints defense can get damn near 30 themselves.
Yes. And Dallas is good for giving up some bad 45-yard passes anyway. So this is going to
they love switching to that prevent and Derek Carr, when the defense changes, playing catch up.
Like 37, 26.
Like 10 in the fourth quarter alone. Thing. I'd be looking over the total in this one.
I agree.
Next game on the board here, Bucks catching a full touchdown against the Lions. I don't know. This one's weird to me. I mean, we got to think back to the playoffs. Baker, a team that still feels disrespected, a full touchdown. The Lions damn near should have lost to the Rams, who didn't even have Puka. I'm going to take the points in this one. I'm going to take the full touchdown. And if enough public thing can bump this to 7.5, you better believe I like it even more. I mean, what are we doing here? Now, I am not. The whole coaching staff for the Bucks makes me nuts. But we at least got a competitive quarterback back there that his team rallies around. They fight for him. The team feels cohesive. They're feeling good. At Lions, I don't know. I got to take you have to take the points here. This is out of control. This is a 3 or 4 point margin game.
We've seen the Lions play primetime games and then struggle in the next weeks. Everybody just saw them pull out a big win. So it's a short week, revenge, quote unquote, game for the Bucs. But I'm with you. You're gonna be 7 with a team who, hello, you've won the South. I know the South is terrible. You still won 3 straight titles here. And Baker's been leading the show with the same offense. I mean, Mike Evans, these are still veteran kind of guys. You got a coach who they somehow win games and get to the window. 7 points. I'm gonna take 7 here. I'll take 7. I was shocked. I had the under in this game last week at Tampa Bay and Washington. I didn't think Tampa Bay was going to score 30. I mean, listen, the Washington defense isn't all that, but you're going to give me a touchdown?
And I'll take a touchdown. And the money is just all over the Lions.
Detroit. Everybody loves the Lions. It's what have you seen? You saw the Thursday, the Sunday night, the Monday night games, and then people are going to be betting on those.
Matt Stafford, they're crunching on his ankle throughout the game. He's got no Puka. It's him and Cup, and they damn sure, almost won the game. So I got to take the Bucs here, man. I got to take the Bucs.
Agreed.
Next game down, Browns catching a little bit over a field goal against the Jags. I believe this opened at an even 3.
Yeah.
Double check on that. It's up to 3.5. I think it touched 4 and came down. Let me see where it's at as we speak. There's actually a 2.5 available on BetMGM, juiced at 130. So it's going to be flip-floppy all week. It's going to be one of these games where if you want a 3.5 or you want like an even 3 or maybe even the 2.5 as of right now, it could be available. I got to go Jags.
I mean, I'm old enough to know when you could lay a 3 and money line would be minus 140, and now your 2.5 is minus 130.
I'd go money line. This is a game where I'd go money line. I mean, okay, so we got a good week of practice in for the Browns. Maybe it's a typical week 1 NFL overreaction. Maybe Dallas is better than people think, so that's why the Browns struggled more than they did. I don't think that's the case. Deshaun was missing people by fucking 10 yards.
He was missing the beginning of last year when he played.
He's horrendous. He just put your helmet on the rack, dude. You're done. He's horrendous. Jags, you could argue that they should have won the game against Miami, road game. A short number. It is a low total, a little bit spooky. You think the game would at least be competitive. Browns coming off a pitiful performance. They're going to show up. I mean, this is not going to be another ugly game. I think this is one where you're just going to have to accept the juice maybe because this could easily be like a 24-23, a 21-20. I mean, 1-point margins do come into football fairly frequently. This could be one of those. I think I'd go Jags on the money line and hope there's enough of this pressure on the Browns to get it back down just a little bit to that minus 140, minus 150 number. That's actually like, you can stomach it going with the money line.
I did, total of 41.5, as you mentioned, low considering the Browns gave up 30 points a game on the road last year. They gave up 30. And you got the Jags. Listen, this was like last year. The Jags were like the flavor of the month, right? They were like the hot team, like, oh, these guys are gonna go to Super Bowl. And it didn't go right down the stretch.
Yeah.
They battled Miami. Maybe should have won that. Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Yeah.
You got Browns, bad game, bad defense on the road, bad quarterback play. It's Jags or nothing to me. Jags need this win. You can't be going down.
They need this win.
0-2 in the AFC. You can't go 0-2 in the AFC versus teams that are going to be ahead of you in the playoff picture. So it's as much as there's a must-win kind of game.
Right.
I got to lean Jags here with you.
The other thing with the Browns, just in terms of NFL overreactions, the one thing I will say is we had some special team scoring from the Cowboys.
Yep.
We had some momentum things where it seemed like it just deflated the team. And when a team just checks out, sometimes games go a little bit past where they really should be. I still, just looking at the fucking roster, find it hard to believe that the Browns defense isn't legit. Now, can they score a single point? I don't know. I'd be looking under the total of 41.5 here. I think it's too high. I think the Browns D can show up here. I think as long as the game is competitive, they will keep that same kind of fire versus being like, God, my offense is horrid today. I'm packing it up too. Then they give up some special team stuff to Turpin. I think the Cowboys scoring was just a bit inflated in that game. I do still believe in the Browns defense. But that offense looks miserable. I know 41.5, a little bit on the low side, probably for a reason. And 40, 41.5, those numbers come into the equation fairly frequently. While I got the hook on the 41.5, I'd actually be looking under the total in this game.
We saw the Cowboys hit a 57, a 50, a 40, and a 46-yarder, and then they called the timeout, and the guy hit a 65-yarder. So as much as they put up a bunch of points with field goals, these aren't chip shots. So the defense was there.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of teams are taking 57-yard field goals.
Yeah, and how many times can you rally for your offense to not get something? I mean, eventually you're just going to wear down. So if this game is at least within single digits the whole time, the Browns defense should, the D-line and some of the people there should continuously show up.
This game is 14-3 with 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. You're thinking, maybe somebody hits a field goal. Cowboys hit a 57-yarder with 2 minutes to go, 17-3. You're like, all right. They get the ball back with they kick a field goal with 50 seconds left. So, I mean,
brutal.
And then they open up the second half, punt return touchdown. Right? Cleveland goes 3 down, and then we're off to the races, 27-3. It's over at that point. Now they did score. Cleveland did score a touchdown on their next drive, but I mean, at that point, 3 50-yard field goals, the defense is there. I mean, and if you're going to leave your team on the field that long, they're going to give up something, folks.
They're going to give up something.
You're going to give up some points. You're going to give up some points.
You cannot bull rush over and over and over. Yeah. Interesting game. I might just end up staying off that one.
We don't have to bet them all, folks. We'll cover them all. Doesn't mean you got to bet them all.
And I might be honestly guilty of that over the first weekend there.
Because you stare at the lines. The lines came out, March 5th? March 5th, I did a show with the Westgate lines.
Yep.
And you think and people are like, how do you bet ahead of time? Well,
based on roster.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough. Niners, -5.5 versus the Vikings. Now, I'll say this right off the bat, based on I can't find it here now. Okay. So, it has moved. I was gonna say I am shocked that a 5.5 would still be available. I see sixes. I see 6s and 6.5s. I'm seeing where was that? I was just scrolling over it. Niners. Here we go. There's a FanDuel 6.5 -115. I think it's going to keep moving. I think it's going to keep sailing. Look, the Vikings. Okay, you look pretty good. Sam Darnold. The Giants. The Vikings came in with some uncertainty in terms of people on their roster maybe holding out for contracts or just not having enough camp to be really up to speed, and they still looked like butter. They're going to be even better, and this game, I don't think it's close, man. I don't think this is close. I think this is if you can even have a single-digit spread, I'd be laying the points with 49ers here.
Really? I like Minnesota. But this is where I'm going to come into like my Monday night luck here.
Okay.
Where I have 2 teams on a Monday night. I got short week, and both of them are road favorites. Now, at least the Vikings, I feel, have better coaching than the Titans with a new staff and quarterback didn't look good.
Yep.
But the Niners, all right, you did what you had to do. You out-coached a bad coach, and the defense was there.
Yeah, maybe they're a little fat and sassy coming in.
That was still a tough game. As much as they kind of won going away, that was a close game and a grinder. Physical game, guys in and out. Now, Minnesota, I'll take a home dog here. You're going to be 6.5 with a home team in the NFL versus a team that everybody saw down. Your third-string running back comes in and goes for almost 200 yards or whatever the heck the guy went for. People be all over the Niners. Like, the Vikings, like you said.
I know.
You beat Danny Dimes.
But I think that's why the line's moving. I think the books are reflecting the money coming in. I mean, it wasn't so much the offense. I mean, I'm looking at the Niners defense on my screen. I'm like, these dudes fly all over the field. And we're going to –
How about an underplay here, then?
We're going to think Sam Darnold is going to keep this thing within a single possession. I don't think so. I don't think it's close. I think if the Vikings cover, it's on the Niners for a bad performance. Maybe a little bit of a letdown spot here after coming off a nice comfy win on a big time stage. But
that's it. I'm gonna be on mini in the under here because
if I can still get a 6, I'm on the Niners and it's not close, and it might be a pretty heavy play, to be honest.
We got to remember that Darnold's with the Niners last year, so they're kind of familiar with his game. And I got a short week kind of thing. So 45.5, I might be looking at under here. I won't be shocked if this one comes down to like 43.
Under. Huh. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, Ayuk was a little bit rusty. I mean, he's dropping some ball. I mean, I feel like they could have been even more efficient. And is McCaffrey, who just barely missed that game, is he back for this? You know?
I still like the under. Because if that's the case, the Niners are going to come in here.
A sharp play, I'll tell you that.
The Niners are going to come in here and they'll just be dominant. We're going to run the ball, we're going to pass the ball, boom, boom, boom. It's 27-13, and it's not close. And Sam Darnold, that's why he's on his, fourth team.
Right.
I mean, Sam Darnold, when he went to the Niners last year, I took a $50 comeback player of the year for to win $3,000 on, because I'm like, the guy threw 26-something touchdowns with Carolina and the Jets or whoever he was on.
Good value.
Coming into that system, I'm sure he could have a nice year. He never got a shot to perform, but he's a serviceable quarterback. Yep. But the Niners again had him last year. They got to be a little familiar. That's things like that. I like to look at unders when I know the coaches knows their old core, especially quarterback play.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. That's a tricky one. Might end up staying off it. Chargers. 6.5-point favorites against the Panthers. Do we just fade the Panthers at will until the doesn't work?
Yes, but at 6.5, I don't want to do 6.5 road fades.
Yeah, I'm not.
I can't. I mean, I was just saying I don't want to
look at the total.
Yeah, I don't want to take the Niners at 6.5. I think I want to take the Chargers came into this year. Who scored a touchdown this year for the Chargers last year? The whole team they lost. Everybody who scored touchdowns from last year was gone.
Under.
I have to be under.
Harbaugh. I think Harbaugh will be completely content with a 17-6 win.
He does not care. Yes.
You don't have to be ranked to make the college football playoff. You just need the W in the win column. They'll come in. They'll grind the game out. The Panthers suck. 17-10, 17-6. I'm not worried about the spread. I think the 38.5 looks low, but I don't think it's low enough. I'd go under the total here.
Did you see short of the Panthers turning the ball over, how many turnovers did they have last week?
I didn't even watch that one, man.
They just turned the ball over every second. It was an interception. It was a fumble. Only one fumble lost. That was it. They had to do worse than that.
Brutal.
2 interceptions for Young.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I can't remember. Let me scroll up here for that Tampa Bay game. Did we say that was
135 yards passing?
No, it's 7. Yeah, let's just pass on this one. Not even worth our time. We got under though. Under. If anything, Raiders.
That's your tease. You want to tease down a favorite at the 6-point fave. You want to go Dallas at home. You want to think the Niners went on the road at 6. That's the one you move down. Chargers just to win a game.
Right. It could be ugly. You might have to sweat, but man, it's hard to believe that somehow, some way that Panthers team will win. I'll take it. I would gladly lose money on something like that. It's just no way.
There's your survivor, your number one survivor pick. I'm guaranteed people will be on the Chargers over the Carolina Panthers, laying the 6.5, 7.
You don't think people are going to be on the Ravens in this game right here?
Possibly. And now here's another one. This was a 7 before the Thursday night game. This was 7. Kansas City was 3 over Cincy. They're going to play a game, and this is exactly what I thought was going to happen.
You think it gets to a 10? I think 10s will pop.
People keep betting the Ravens, no way they could lose kind of stuff, but I'd be worried. I mean, as much as they say, the defense looked pretty good. Yeah, they still gave up a point a minute to Kansas City.
Yeah.
We'll talk about them. We'll talk about Kansas City in a second.
Yep.
41.5. I don't know. Raiders didn't look all that great, but here comes desperation mode.
Yeah.
Are the Ravens coming out?
I think I just
put up a 30 spot themselves.
It's just a pass for me. It's just a pass. I want to take Lamar.
Hey, that's the hardest bet you're saying right there, because the people in the chat want to bet a game.
Oh yeah, they love a player or whatever.
If the line is going to move on at 7.5, give me the Ravens. Right, here's another one. Yeah. We can't be 0-2 in our division when we have Cincinnati, who's 0-1, but Cleveland's 0-2. So at least they have that going for them, that they're all 0-1 in the division. You know, so except for the Steelers, who had them leading the division at all.
Right.
Cash that ticket. But you're in a spot where, hey, we got to win this game. And the Raiders cross country. I thought the Raiders were going to be like a 5-win team. So
this might be a live bet type of game, man. If we get some Raiders fire out of the jump, or you get one random turnover that makes the spread low right off the bat, you hammer the Ravens. If you can get like a 3 or a 3.5, even,
you get like a Crosby sack, fumble, return, touchdown. All of a sudden, it's 7-0.
Lamar screws up once and forces a play because he just feels like every single play he can make something out of.
Yep.
And he throws a pick 6 on the first drive, and you immediately can get a Ravens -3 or something. I think I might.
The 41.5 is.
I want to go over.
I want to go over. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
The Ravens, the roster has changed a lot, but a lot of it was defense. Patrick Queen. I know they got some nasty safeties, but Clowney. I don't know. I don't love the Ravens defense here. Maybe do the Raiders still 100% stick with Minshew, or do you think?
No, though, if they won't switch out in week 2.
So that could almost be a double-edged sword for the over, because he's enough of a wild man where he can throw a pick 6 and get you points on the board for screwing up,
or throw 3 touchdowns.
Also extend plays and get you some points.
Yeah.
So he's almost a double-edged sword for the over. I mean,
I can't take it under in this game. I can't take it under in this game.
No, I can't do it.
I mean, Lamar had 120 yards rushing last week too. I mean,
crazy.
He could score 4 touchdowns this game. We've seen it before. He takes off, he throws a couple.
Especially once you start getting deeper into the game. He goes Superman. A little bit concerning in terms of his health this year, but overall pretty much a pass on this game for me. Next one here. This one's moved just a little bit. Now I have 3.5 on the screen. You can still get a 3 on this game if you do like the Seattle side. I see a 3 on BetMGM at -115. It's kind of a contradiction because the whole world's on Seattle. I mean, the universe. We're talking that 91% of everything on Seattle. But at the same time, Patriots, man, you played a Bengals team that we all know if who is it? Tanner Hudson, the tight end. If he didn't fumble that at the goal line and that was 7 and that was a tie game right there in the first half, Bengals would have won that game. No doubt about it. That play was the deciding factor. Game changer. This is one where I just got to say, you know what? I guess the public wins some of them. I hate to just be with the flock, but there's no way in hell I could ever bet this Patriots team. I can't do it.
I agree.
I'm going to lay the 3. If there's still a 3 available, I'll take the 3. I'll lay 115 a juice. Geno, I mean, a decent offense. Patriots coming off a win. That's as good as a value as you're going to get. If the Patriots lost, if Jamar Chase wasn't rusty and this offense was in rhythm and the Patriots came out of there with a 7 to 10 point loss, this would be a 5.5. Maybe 6 is popping.
I want to say this was like almost like a 1 on the early line.
Wow. I thought it would have been lower than where it was. I think just based on value.
Actually, I see a 2. It was a 2.5, 2.5 out there.
I have to take Seattle, man. I have to take Seattle. Maybe even get a little.
I just have to do under. If I'm doing anything in this game, it'll be an under.
Seattle's defense.
Patriots have a defense. We know that. Patriots are going to have a defense.
Yeah.
The offense is still questionable.
Yeah.
Seattle, I mean.
Another low number that wants to make you think you can somehow get over it, but it's going to end up being 17.
This has got to be the lowest number on the board, like this one in the Panther game.
Yeah. Next 2 are pretty low too. Speaking of the next game, this one I think is a absolute no-brainer to the under. Colts -3.5 going to the Pack. Pack got a good defense, man. They're at Lambeau. They're going to rally. That defense is pretty good. They got people in the secondary. They got some pass rush. We're not sure about the Colts offense. And the Packers have Malik Willis. The only thing that could screw you on the under is pick 6s and screw ups from Malik Willis. I think this is a 20 to 13, a 20 to 10. I think it's a decent win for the Colts, but I have no idea how we get to 40.5.
The Colts have to win this game. They have to win backup quarter. And Richardson, I didn't like him last year, but he kind of grew on me. I'm like, this guy plays. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
He was still 9-19, and he had a 50-yard pass completion to kind of make that a game.
Is that week 1 though? Maybe he could all of a sudden be like, whoa.
You're also, exactly.
Whoa, Richardson. But the Packers, like I said, good defense.
Good defense, playoff team on the road. I'm with you on the under. And it's a quarterback they were not playing on this guy seeing any time this year other than week 16 or 17 or 18 or whenever he came into.
There's some 4s popping up too now. There's some 4s on BetMGM. All the money in the world's on the under, but the handle on these games, I mean, we're talking early in the week. It's not crazy, guys. This will come crashing down. I'll be shocked if this line if the total goes up. I can see the Colts line moving because they were 4.5, 5-point dog. I think the Colts will close at 4.5. I think they're going to put the hook on the 4 to try to tempt you into Green Bay. I think it ends up being a 6 or 7-point win for the Colts. They're going to get out of there with a W.
They absolutely 100% have to win this one here. Have to win this.
They got to get.
Got to be the backup quarterback.
I would probably recommend betting the Colts, but betting them first half. I mean, we're talking about Malik Willis coming in, and this guy's horrendous. I mean, this guy's bad. I mean, when you play a strength of schedule that you do in college, I always say it, man. When these quarterbacks get drafted, you got to take someone who played in some legit games, man, to where the college was at least close. I mean, it's never close. The NFL speed is crazy land. These dudes are psycho. I mean, for my fucking life, I probably couldn't run away from a D end in the NFL, but this is crazy. And I'm gonna take the capable team. I think coaching is kind of an offset. I do like LaFleur, but man, it's just too short notice. Even with a full week, Malik game's just gonna be too fast for him. The Colts are gonna win this one. They're gonna win it pretty comfortably. Do you get a backdoor score from the Packers when nothing counts to screw your number? If it goes from 11 or 10 down to that 4 or 3, maybe not. But I'd probably lean.
It shouldn't be in that. It should be this game. Richardson should be able to put up 17 points.
Yep.
A backup quarterback, even against the Colts, off of a bad performance. But let's be honest, you're playing division team. You played high scoring game
full on Titans
in a dome. You know what I'm saying? That's a dome game. 2 speed teams that's going to sail over, and they're familiar and they play overs. Yeah. Here, the Packers, even with Love, would be more of kind of we pass it, but we West Coast it. We're running.
Yeah,
I'm with you on the under for sure because I don't care that they got an extra day rest because they were in Brazil.
First half under because the home field defense in Lambeau will have more energy and they know that the pressure's on them.
That line just came down to Green Bay +3 now. I'm watching on DK Live. It just dropped to a 3.5 to a 3.
Yeah, I do see it on 3, but the 4 is still available on MGM.
Shop around, folks. If you don't have multiple books,
the total, I see a 41 on Caesars.
There you go.
Take under 41. First half totals are all around the books at 20
and a half.
And I would definitely go under that because
I got 20 and a half here.
You could get some stuff in junk time. The Packers D, who's going to have to bust their ass the whole game, might wear down. Okay, Jonathan Taylor might start just cooking off, 8 to 10 yarders every snap. The first half, at least home field energy. The defense could show up. We still don't quite feel great about Richardson. Maybe the Colts struggle. Is it crazy to say it's not a 7-3 first half? 10 points?
I had the under last night thinking the same kind of thing. Like, hey, 2 defenses home, blah, blah, blah. So
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
That's why they play the games, as they say.
Right. Titans catching somehow, some way catching 4.5 versus the Jets here. Do I have that wrong? I mean, did I write this wrong?
That's
is that real? They're really a home dog of 4.5. Oh, it's 3.5 now across the board.
No, it's not. Is it?
Yeah.
Wow. Somebody just buried the Titans. Holy cow.
I would bury him too.
At 4.5. What I say about the Jets, if you're going to take the Niner game, you have to take both of the home dogs because one's going to cover here. One might win outright, honestly.
This one. I can't believe
Jets
are prima donna, New York City, soft, want their money, don't want to tackle losers. The Titans were in that game. They dominated for most of the game. Unfortunately, their quarterback was just like unbearable. I mean, the Chicago Bears did not score an offensive touchdown, and they covered 4.5. That's only happened like 1 out of every 500 scenarios. I'm taking points again with the Titans, and I'm sprinkling money line. The Jets look pathetic. You have to just drop a game plan for Garrett Wilson, and that's all you have to do. On
Tuesday, somebody just did that to me. I got 11 games for Sunday, and I figured, maybe I could get a 5 on this. Like I thought maybe the thought would be, they can't be that bad as they look, the Jets. They're going to rebound.
The Jets hype would still bleed through 1 week.
Yes, because I got Will Levis throwing from his knees pick sixes the other way.
Unbearable. The special teams. I still can't believe I lost my biggest bet of the week on that.
Yeah, well, I was right with you. Please, I was
17-0.
I was bad-mouthing the Bears all summer long. I'm like, I don't like the team one bit. And
it's just numbers too. I mean,
I can't find a 4 anyway. They're gone. I got 3.
They're gone. They're gone. The best you can find on 3.5. I'm seeing -105. This might go down to an even field goal. I bet it will. Money splits. There's a lot of New York Jets money in there, and it's still moving. But it's sharp. I mean, we're talking 36% of tickets on the Titans against the spread, but about 42% of the money. I think this one.
Some group definitely moved on it. I mean, I saw people move on Denver yesterday.
You think they want to bet the Titans down far enough to where they can take the Titans
come back on
at an even 3 if they can get an even 3?
I think if they could pound it down to a 3, like whoever comes into early, right? Because you can only bet a certain amount on opener, so they're going to come in here and knock them from 4.5 down to 3.5, 3, and then maybe they come over the top back on the Jets game day and pump it back up because now you're at 3.
Yep,
we're covering a 3. We got more on the 3 than the 4.5.
Yep.
Again, a lot of people don't do that because you don't have to bankroll for that. Like, I mean, who's coming in? For the average person, putting 150 on one, they don't want to grind out $45. But for you people moving $250,000 stacks, they're going to make a little profit on it. The average person, unless it's a big number in between, you're not trying to middle 1.5.
Right.
But I can't believe this moved on a Tuesday afternoon live with you at 3:30. Like somebody just dropped max bet on this to move this a whole point.
Well, I would say based on I mean, we got so we don't have
somebody's out. You don't know. Maybe we might have a no sauce in here. Maybe CJ Mosley's out. Maybe that's why the line has moved here.
Could be something like that. I'm not.
That'll be interesting tonight
or
tomorrow.
Within like 12 hours. I'm probably 10, 12 hours away from super headlines, so I could not know something like that. But at the end of the day, I mean, look, at Chicago, at least and that's a team that had a lot of hype. The quarterback looked horrendous. It looked ugly, but special teams screwed up as well. There are at least some things you can clean up for the Titans to be respectable. The Jets overall have a guy that I've watched for years. I have his signature. I have items from him. I watched him win a Super Bowl for us. I am a Packers guy. Aaron's old, man. He's old as shit, and he's slow, and he's unbearable if he's got to move. He still throws a ball so clean, it like makes me almost cry because I wish he was still in yellow and gold. But Aaron's old, man. I mean, if they get to him, he's in trouble. And if you can just come up with some type of defensive game plan to slow down one guy, Garrett Wilson, what are you going to do with that offense? Because Breece Hall looks pretty slow to me. He doesn't seem like he has the ability to really bust tackles like some of these madmen in the league. And you're giving me points at home? I mean, this feels like the wrong team's favorite. This is a Titans money line play, unless I'm like crazy here. And I got to see it from the Jets. I got to see it. Beat me. Take my money one time before I have to respect you. I got to go Titans here.
Like I said about Cleveland
here. Half, I'm on the Titans. Even a field goal and a half. Give me the Titans.
This is a field goal
game. Right?
Like you're saying, clean up the play. The punt return touchdown.
Unbearable.
40-something yard interception.
The Bears didn't score an offensive touchdown. What are we doing here?
We talk about the long field goals, 50 and 48 yarders in the fourth quarter. So you're still kind of keeping teams on their heels a little bit. So that's not the problem. You had a interception and 2 picks and a block punt, 1 interception for a touchdown. You lose a fumble. You're not going to win on the road.
No.
With a pick 6,
Cannot
a special teams touchdown,
they could have
and 3
kneeled
turnovers.
the ball. They could have kneeled the ball every play when they went up 17-0 and got out of there with a W. Unbearable. Next game. Oh boy, do I just skip it?
What's there to say about that?
Please don't bet this. Everybody listening, please don't.
You need the 1-800 gambler. You need the 1-800 gambler clip coming in here for this one.
Please don't. I know. I'm gonna have to borrow that from. Please don't bet this. Please, people. What are we doing? It's actually 1.5 across the board right now. If you're gonna bet it money line unless you like the dog because it's gonna be damn close. So right now, if you like the G-men, I would for sure bet 1.5 at -105 versus a money line play. 13 to 14. I mean, this is horrendous. The total's at 43.5. I see some 44.5s out there.
See, I see bad teams. I just think over. We could get turnovers.
I agree. I was going to say over. I was going to say over short fields, at least 2 capable. I mean,
this is a 43 total with these 2 guys. Did you see them play? Oh my goodness. What's next? We got
money's on the over. Money's on the over. Money's over on money's on the Commanders. I don't know, man. I think this is probably a giant spot, but I can't do this. I mean, it's a divisional dog.
I agree.
Just a horrendous game, and the chance that this freaking thing comes down to a point is probably pretty high. I think I'd be taking my 1.5 if you're like a Giants fan or a Commanders fan and you want to have some type of money on the game that you're going to watch. I think I would take anything I can get regardless of what side it comes on.
I would just
don't tease the game. Don't get involved with any more things. Keep this game isolated. Like I'm saying, tease the Giants up in what should be a close game, divisional.
Maybe, and then somebody wins by 10, and why did I bet this game? Just find some. Don't even watch this game.
Don't even watch this game. Ban this game. We got to boycott this game. Maybe we can get these 2 teams out of the league. This is unbelievable. Next game. Rams. Go. This one's brutal for me, and I'll start off with this one because this is one where I feel like the energy and the emotion for the Rams cannot hold up in this position, but the Cardinals are trash at home. What do we do? I want to bet the over, but only if Puka was healthy. If you have Puka in the game, I'd blast the over. Anything in the 40s, anything under 50, over. But now you got some issues with that. Stafford had his ankle drilled a bunch of times. I mean, I know you can. He's just historically over years and years and years been a tough guy who just guts out games. I'm not saying he didn't have a brutal week, barely walking on that ankle. I don't know how good he is. Cardinals at home are going to have at least some type of energy, but they're also bad at home in terms of covering the number. This is a clear pass for me. Everything is contradicted. I could come up with 3 or 4 reasons for both sides of the total and the spread. There's no way I could bet this game. No way.
So the lines come down here flipped because of the Puka news. I got the Rams off of a Sunday night OT game. You talk about energy, sucked out of the room. Yep. You could have won the game. You should have won the game. Then you lose your 1A receiver.
Brutal.
And I got Stats Patford, not only on the road, but outside. He's not even in a dome where he's better. And the Cardinals, for all intents and purposes, they might have pissed away a game they could have maybe would have won.
Under.
I like the Cardinals sidewise here.
I like the Cardinals.
And I know McVay owns the Cardinals, but let's be honest. Those are different teams.
Yep.
Your best player retired on defense.
Cardinals.
All right. Cardinals. The Cardinals didn't have Murray in some of these games. When this kid plays, he's good. He's going to rush for 10 or 15.
He's good.
He's going to throw for another 25 touchdowns.
He's good.
He's exciting. They got to be feeling good. All right, they lost, but at least, hey, we were winning in a game.
Covered.
We were 8-point dogs to start, and it came down. So we're feeling good about ourselves. I'll take Arizona here on a money line.
I'll take Arizona money line. I see a minus 120 on FanDuel.
120, take it.
Take it. Cardinals.
Yep.
Cardinals. I agree. Enough said. Bengals.
There we go.
There's a 6. There's a 6 on Caesars, but mainly 5.5s across the board here at the Chiefs. I mean, look, I would be the first one because I'm coming off a specific situation to where I lost money on the Bengals. So you have to initially be like, okay, don't overreact. Don't immediately hate a team that you lost money on. That's generally a trap for week 2 NFL. How is this still even a 5.5 available? These teams, even if they have a great week of practice and then Jamar looks sharp and Joe Burrow gets everyone in gear and they don't like fumble the ball at the end line and they don't do the sloppy crap, there's no way that Bengals defense can hold the Chiefs in check. This Chiefs team, I hate them. I don't like them. They're nasty. They got a D. They're at home. You could say they're one of their top rivals. This is insane how it's even a single-digit spread, in my opinion. And it's going to be a massively public bet, which scares me. This is out of control. I will lay 5.5 with the Chiefs. I hate it.
The Bengals had that run where they beat them 3 straight times. Championship game in Kansas City, taking care of business.
Yeah.
But different type teams. That was a defensive Kansas City team. Mahomes
first half.
Hill.
Chiefs first half in this one. Chiefs first half. I mean, what's the first half line?
If Kansas City is going to get if they're getting wide receiver play like this for the season, they're winning 16 games and penciling them for a three-peat because they have a defense, Kansas City. They have a defense.
They look good. They got great coaching.
If they have a wide receiver now.
This is great. This team's nasty. I hate the Chiefs. I hate the Chiefs. They are nasty.
Should it still be the 3.5 what it was opened at? I don't know. Because the Chiefs look so good and the Bengals lost to the Patriots.
Right. And,
so is it a slight overreaction?
If you look at the numbers, we're talking about 6 out of 10 times the dog would cover in this position for week 2 NFL. I got to throw it out the window. I have to disregard it. This is too much of a gap.
This is, again, Bengals have no mix-in, different running game.
For the people who want to cry about the NFL being rigged, if the Bengals cover this fucking number, I might be out here crying.
See, I don't. But again, it's moved up here though. There's a 6. If we're talking about this last week and it's 3.5, you're going to be like, it's going to be a close one. But what did you see?
You mean if like the Bengals pounded the Patriots into the ground by 17?
It would be 3.5. That's what it was supposed to be.
It'd be 3.5, 4.5.
Bengals win that game 24-6 or something. It's going to be 3.5, 4 what it opened at because again, it's Kansas City looking like. Why's my son calling me?
You can take call. You can take it.
Oh, I forgot right now. I'll just text him back. Text me.
Yeah, but with this one, the only thing I can possibly, when I'm actively trying to search for a reason to be on the Bengals here at +6, Lamar was a one-man show, and
Burrow's not doing that,
and he still found some people. But if that Bengals offense if they somehow were like just sandbagging, just totally just not prepared, if they're even double what we saw week 1, Jamar Chase, Hudson actually not having his head up his ass.
Man, bad fumble.
Can the Bengals move the ball a little? I don't think so. The Chiefs defense looks great.
Chiefs have the defense.
They got the pass rush. Burrow, I don't know. The dude's got.
And I want to see Burrow. The guy was hurt. He had a hand problem last year. I want to see him do something because he didn't do anything.
I want to see it. I want to see it. The total.
I don't want anything to do with. No, thank you. I mean, the Chiefs might 40.
I see 47.5 and even 48s, and I would agree with that. I would be playing the under if anything, because the Bengals defense at least showed up on some possessions to like try to even give them the shot to stay in the game. I know it was against an absolute nobody of an offense, but I think the Chiefs defense will have success. I think the Bengals defense knows they got to do what they can. They might have a little extra zip playing against Mahomes. I'd be probably playing under the total in this one, as I think the over is just going to be wildly popular. I'd take under 48.
Plus, you get a little extra rest for Kansas City. They got to be feeling good coming into this game.
Yeah, good luck scoring. That's a nasty, nasty team. Steelers, Broncos, probably a pass for me. I was so close to throwing in an extra bet for my premium as soon as Fields was swapped in as a starter, because I'm thinking, whoa. Just because of this news, we get 1 extra point on the Steelers, and in my opinion, we actually improved at the quarterback position. I should have went in on the Steelers plus the points. Didn't, but now they're a favorite on the road, Mile High. A rookie quarterback who got some reps in. Maybe Bo Nix looks a little better. I don't think so. The problem here is the Steelers defense is nasty, and if there was a week 2 opportunity for a rookie to really improve and like take strides, it would be against a team that defensively isn't strong. The Steelers are defensively strong. TJ Watt, I mean, this could be a real problem for the Broncos. I see a two on Caesars. I wouldn't do that. I'd lay the full 3, maybe an alt line up to 5.5 with Steelers in this spot.
This was a 3.5
it's a low total though. Low total. Maybe team total over for Denver. Can they even score 10?
I still like the under, although I do like the home dog. I actually wish it was Russell starting, because then I would have had the whole
scuttlebutt.
It would have been like, oh, he's going against his old team, but the Broncos know all about him, so it would have been easier to take the Broncos there and going under. The Steelers, for me though, you have a road favorite again, back-to-back road games, never good spots in NFL. Then you're going to Mile High, never an easier place to play, even with a bad team. And did you really love what you saw out of Fields last week?
Right,
150 yards. I mean, we know they're going to bring a defense.
Atlanta, a lot of moving parts. It's going to take them a while to gel. So.
Right? You had a quarterback who's coming off his own injury, who's an older cat as well.
I just really worry about them getting a bow, man. Worry really about them getting a bow next year.
He was not. I mean, listen, the completions weren't there. 2 interceptions, 26 to 42. I'm looking at his numbers. I mean, 130 yards, which is terrible. They couldn't really do much. But again, that's a rookie quarterback on the road. Yep. What do you expect there? And now you're home. You're giving me 3 points. I'm going to take the home dog here. Again, back-to-back road games is tough, and you're favored. You didn't score a touchdown. You had 6 field goals, Pittsburgh. Now you're favored. You're not a 3-point dog, which I would have been
under 36.5.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Is it 17-16?
17-6. This game could end 9-0.
7.
I mean, really, this is
9-6.
How about there's like the whole bet where does a team score a touchdown?
Yeah.
How about no touchdown in this game?
Yeah, you might get a defensive one though.
Possible. Well,
I agree, and I think the other thing is the line being short at some 2s available. I mean, some 2s are available.
Again,
that should really tell you everything you need to know. Do you go crazy here and go Broncos money line?
But Dan, why did this line move a whole point from 3.5 down to 2.5? That's not who's betting this game right now. It's not people in our chats and on Twitter and TikTok betting this game. This is a big group coming in saying, I'm taking 3.5.
So maybe see if you get enough Steelers money to get you a 3.5, maybe even a 4 by the time Sunday comes around. Sunday afternoon. Wait on this one. If you like the dog, wait on this one. If you like Denver, wait.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to lower than 2. If he keeps coming down, 2.5 is low. You're seeing 2.5. Sheesh.
If 3s come off the board completely, I'm on Denver, just based on that principle. I'm not falling into that trap.
This total was 40.5 I got the other day, so now it's 36.5.
Yeah. Yeah. That's too much for me to move on, but I could take a sprinkle on Denver here. Chicago, coming off a big win, big impressive win. Catching 6.5 against the Texans. This has moved as well. There are 7s out there. Caesars has a 7 at -115. The total is at 45.5 and even 46. It's come down just a little. I would for sure go under the total because I don't think the Bears are going to do squat. They got they didn't score an offensive touchdown in the last game. It was absolutely disgusting. The Texans are great. I think that's a pretty good coach, pretty good team. I don't know how this number is where it's at. Is this the blowout of the week? Is this a 20-point margin?
Yeah, I was going to say alternate line this, Texans up to like 2 touchdowns.
9.5 if you want to go extra conservative. Keep it under the 10.
I was saying 13.5, go 14 twice.
13 and 12.5 because 13 and 14 are both somewhat common. 12.5 or 9.5. Extendo clip this one.
I have Texans at 3. I said I thought they're going to lose to the Colts.
Here's your teaser leg. This is
a absolute burial. Texans at home.
They could bury them.
This is it. They're going to be all pumped up. Everybody loves Stroud. This is a game. They go on the road next week. The Bears, rookie quarterback on the road versus a good defense. They couldn't do anything at home.
Nothing.
That ain't happening here.
And the Titans are not special, man. They are not special. That's a bottom third team. That's
with a new coach and
trash quarterback.
You barely won.
They're going to torch
You shouldn't have won.
This is a crazy line.
Going to be like, I wouldn't be shocked if this game's like 24, 27, 20, nothing in the first half. Like, it's going to be out now, as long as Houston don't come in and be like, whatever, and then they lily-dally and it's like 17-6 and you're worrying about covering because they're not taking the game serious. Exactly. I don't see that. I don't see that. They were in a dogfight last week. They got up and then I don't see it here. Go out, put on a show for the home team, home fans.
And it's Sunday night, so everyone is going to still be somehow believing in this Bears hype.
Well, I don't know if people are believing in the Bears hype. I think this line's going to keep going up. The Texans, the Stroud of love, MVPs.
It should. Here, I don't know how the books aren't already. I mean, are they hanging the low number still, trying to entice people that this game should be close? Are they that nervous?
How are they jumping in from 3 to 7.5 though?
If they immediately blast it through the 7 and hang an 8.5 on the Texans, do they think that would entice too much Texas money to come in?
No, that'll be all Bear money coming at 8.5.
You think you think as soon as this thing gets over a margin of a touchdown, people are coming in on Chicago?
They'll take the Bears. That's just on principle. But it's not, when you say people, the average person don't care. They're like the Bears stink, right?
Yeah.
The average person isn't saying I'm value wise I'm taking the half point, because most of these guys probably have the Texans minus 3.5 already, or 3.
Yeah.
Right. So they're not going to come out with reopen a line at 7.5, because then they're going to be on the hook again for for another middle. Yeah, they can't. So it's but open 6.5. The public's would be on the Texans. Why wouldn't they?
Straight bet it, tease them down, finding out what was that other leg we're looking at? Chargers,
Cowboys at home. Down to
Cowboys take care of the same.
And you said you like the Niners on the road. I just don't like doing a road team, because a road team can
always sketchy, and at least Minnesota has momentum, and you just never know what that does.
But Texans here, this is a no doubt. Grab the Texans.
You know what? There you go. Baltimore, Ravens, Texans teaser.
What about Kansas City? Forgot Kansas City in that.
I got to straight bet that one, because the way I see the Bengals, it's like all of a sudden, whoa, okay, where was that week 1 type of thing? They at least have that much potential to show up and make it sketchy. And we've seen the Chiefs in regular season just be different, and we know how Joe Burrow is the one guy who can compete with the Chiefs on a consistent basis. I got to straight bet that one. If we get what we think, Chiefs get the job done easy.
Yeah.
If we don't get what we think, all of a sudden they're in trouble. They're going to get tight, and that's coming down to the wire. And both teams could score at the end. So I can't be teasing Kansas City.
Texans at Minnesota next week too, by the way. Texans at Minnesota next week.
Yeah. Monday Night Football. This line's moved a little bit. Opened 5.5. We're currently seeing 6.5s across the board. I don't know, man. The Falcons, is this just a team that's going to take 3 or 4 weeks to figure it out? Or are they going to show up here and lose by 6 and fuck everyone over in terms of their money?
So this opened up at 4, right? People were high on the Falcons.
4. Yep.
I still like the Eagles here, this number. And I know the defense wasn't all that great in Brazil. And
good D line, though. Great D line.
As you just said, we're talking about Pittsburgh. Falcons.
And we still had Jordan Love for most of that game.
Yes. But Jordan Love isn't a 30-something-year-old quarterback coming off an injury like the Falcons have here.
Right.
Philly's going to get after the quarterback. I mean, 2 years ago, these guys, everybody on the defensive line had like 8 sacks.
Yep.
So they're going to get some pressure on.
Saquon looks good. Goddard, Smith, A.J. Brown. That is too much. That is too much. And all those Pittsburgh field goals, some of those are going to end up being 7 here.
Maybe. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Yes, the Eagles are going to score touchdowns here.
See, the fact that Justin Fields and kind of a rebuilt Pittsburgh team was at least able to get consistent field goals on the board, we're going to get points from the Eagles here.
They have wide receivers that are going to get to the end zone. This isn't Justin Fields who got shot away from the Bears because they thought he wasn't good enough.
Yep.
The Eagles, what happened last year? They collapsed with the defense down the stretch. There's a lot of nonsense. So I like them in week 1 because you got to get that taste in their mouth. They got a nice big win. A win kind of going away a little late there. They put together some nice stuff.
Yeah.
The Falcons, again, not rebuilding, but you have to gel. It takes a minute.
Moving parts.
It takes a minute.
It's going to take 3 or 4 weeks.
And what did you see? Again,
it's too short. It's public. It's going to be public as crap, man. The
yes,
Eagles
because
it's going to be public as crap, and it's a standalone Monday night game.
Yep.
That's scary stuff, but that's why we're doing this show at this point of the week, because it's 6.5. I can guarantee you, run back this video come Monday night. You ain't gonna have a 6.5 available.
No, probably 7.5. Unless it's the old. What did we saw? We see something look so terrible. You're shut out at home. People might listen. I like dogs. I couldn't come in at a 4 or 6 on this team.
Yeah.
I need a little more than that to get excited about the Falcons. I think the Eagles win the East, and that's that. And the Falcons, I want to see if their quarterback holds up.
Yep.
But even off a poor performance, and I'm like you. We got like Tennessee looks so ugly. You got to take them. They looked ugly. I don't want to take them here. I don't want to take them.
I can't do it.
I don't. It's Eagles or nothing.
Good home field environment. Monday night, week 2.
Yeah.
Some momentum.
And let's be honest, he's on the hot seat, Sirianni. He's on the hot seat.
No.
He's going to come lay an egg here? Oh, boy.
And he's a guy also where if the game is going pretty well, he will keep his foot on the gas.
Oh, yeah.
He likes to kind of squish bugs when he has an opportunity. Yeah, too much offensive power here. It's just too much. I know Kelsey's gone. I know there's been some changes. They're still good at the line of scrimmage. They got some players. The offense is too talented. I'd be maybe looking at a team total over for the Eagles if you want to take the spread out of it. I think the Eagles might just keep their foot on the gas if they're scoring well right off the jump. I do think even that kind of pieced together Pittsburgh squad, a defensive oriented coach, defensive oriented team, even being able to put up consistent field goals like that, I think we're going to see some points out of the Eagles in this one.
He threw 2 picks last week, Hurts.
Yeah, but everyone's pretty healthy. Everyone's
2 picks,
pretty
a
healthy.
fumble, and you still put up 34 points.
The Packers have good. That is a good deep. Rashawn Gary. Kenny Clark. They have a pass rush. Jair Alexander. The guys out of Georgia that are in there. I'm a Packers fan. You guys see it here in my spot.
Dan, you turn the ball over 3 times and still win.
In a weird environment. Weird environment, foreign country. A lot of hype, Packers playing good, a lot of pressure on you, which also makes you a little bit tight at times, especially Jalen Hurts. Now you come home, Eagles. I think this could be another runaway, man. I really think maybe it's worth an alt sprinkle of 9.5. Stay under that 10 number, but I think they could win this one by double digits. I don't think that's crazy. And this one is going to be, again, just friendly reminder, massively public Monday night standalone game. So just if you're seeing this video here on my channel on Sunday when you lost your ass and you're chasing your losses on Monday night, if the number isn't, if it's past, if you're seeing 7 and a hook, maybe just cut your bet in half. I would still recommend taking the Eagles. Just don't go nuclear. There's a lot of season left. I'm currently in the hole. I had some bad beats.
How about an over here?
Yeah, it could be because all of a sudden the Falcons could gel a little. They could have a really good week of practice. The Eagles defense, I like their line. They're beefy. They don't move much. But
Cousins Monday night last time, 4 touchdowns, 364 yards versus these guys.
I like the over.
Week 2, 6 point.
And they're coming off such a pitiful game to where maybe this should be closer to an even 50 or 51, to be honest.
Right? Almost an identical situation.
Like I said, we're going to get probably 30 out of the Eagles. 28, 30.
Oh, yeah, they're scoring.
So, and then you got the Falcons playing catch up with prevent defense. And we know Philly, time and time again, does that. They do it. We've seen it. It happens all the time. Philly is just porous at the end of the games, and they let people back in sometimes. I do like the over. I got to stick with the Eagles, especially at the 6.5.
This is almost like the same Falcons in Minnesota last year. Minnesota opened up there. They lost to Tampa Bay at home.
Yeah.
Went on the road. Big game. They covered the number, but they had a bunch of close losses. Remember, I think they fumbled the ball in that Monday night game.
Yep.
And here come the Falcons. Same quarterback, shut out at home in a game you were favored on, 18-0, whatever. Yep. And now here comes Monday night again. Same quarterback.
Yep.
Same kind of skill position players. You got some skill guys on Atlanta offensively. I'm liking the over here.
I'm liking the over. I think they got it. I think they got enough. They can score on the Eagles.
This isn't Carolina again, scored 47-10. This isn't the Patriots eking out putting 16 points up. The Falcons have an offense.
Yeah.
They got a running back who's as good or will be as good as Barkley, so to say, and Bijan.
Yep.
Everybody loves the Pitts kid. They got London.
Yeah.
They have some players. They spent $50 million and brought in a first-round quarterback too on top of it.
And if they're playing catch-up, man,
they will be.
If we need a couple scores late in the game to get us there, we could get there for sure. Yeah.
Has this moved since the open, or is this still 47 mostly?
I can't remember what it opened at.
I see a 47 at DK.
An even 46. Yeah, you're right. Minus 108 too. Pretty good price. Yeah, I'd jump on it. I mean, what are people really buying in on like the Falcons are going to like be this much of a scrambled circus type of a thing?
Yeah, I see a bunch of 47.5s. I see 147 at Caesars, Will Hill.
Yeah, there's a 47 at DK at minus 108. No.
Yeah, I see a 47 now.
That's a pretty good number not to want to have the
yeah, that must have just moved. I just flipped it on. It was 47. That's 47. I think.
Yeah.
How did that come down and have a point? I mean, people in Philly are gonna be betting this over left.
Well,
and right.
here's the handle. At least what I'm seeing right now with less than 100K on it. 93.2% of the money is on the under. 80% of the tickets. 93. It's early.
I know, but is that just people thinking?
It's just people watching the Pittsburgh game and thinking one team can't score for jack. But the pieces are there. Like you said, Kirk Cousins Monday night. Now they're an underdog. Now everyone hates them. They can't come in here with a little chip on their shoulder and put a couple scores on the board against a porous defense that likes to play prevent. So. I think if there could be a second half total that I could take before the game starts, I'd take it. I'd go over for the second half.
I do. When I want to bring up real fast because we have to pull the games, but when we go into the breakdowns and stuff, we talk about the splits and stuff.
Yeah.
You got to take in consideration, folks. You're in New York, Pennsylvania. You're going to see splits on. What do you think the split's going to be on Philly on a Monday night game? Take those in a grain of salt. We're talking about them off an app. Depending where you are, they're going to come up on a timeline. Somebody's posting them. Where are they getting those numbers from?
Yep.
The tri-state area is going to be heavy. New York, Philly.
Heavy.
Louisiana, you're going to have a lot of LSU money. It's just the way it is. So Dan does shows like this. You find a lot of early kind of shows you talk about games. Have a little thought process beforehand.
Yeah.
That's all fine when you hear about the splits in the public and it's that. But have an idea what you like before so it doesn't – you can't have your vision clouded.
Yeah.
This one here, I want to just talk about I got to take the over here because he's got a history. He performed here last year.
Yeah. Why
does it come down a tick? It's 47. That makes no sense. I thought it would be going up towards the 50 mark.
I know primetime unders last year, but
they were a thing. But how many crap teams did we have on primetime last year? We got the Jets. The Jets.
They kept putting the Broncos in there, right? Last year, it was
supposed to be good. Think about it.
Time.
Here come the Broncos. Russell Wilson. We're going to be good. The Jets. Here we go. We got signed Aaron Rodgers. We're going to put Jets on primetime 6. The Giants were on a couple.
The Jets could be the new Broncos. The Jets could be the new Broncos.
Yeah, very well. Dan, I love that when you were reached out. I was reading a Twitter message. Hey, man, it won't take too long. Just a quick little rundown of the games.
Yeah.
Hour and 15 minutes. Quick rundown.
Yeah. Right. Well, hey, guys, that's a lot of information, a ton of information. If you appreciate it, again, definitely hit the like button, subscribe to my channel.
Definitely hit the like button. Follow Dan.
If this video gets enough love, maybe Sean will come back kind of on a consistent basis here. We're just trying to help you guys cash more tickets. Sean's got premium stuff. I got premium stuff. If you're more serious into sports betting, maybe consider that. But that's pretty much it, guys. That's week 2. NFL slate. Every single game, spread total, any thoughts that we possibly had, we gave you guys. Hopefully appreciate that. And again, Sean's links, if you want to follow him on a daily basis, you can find his stuff in my description. You can find my stuff in the description. Any comments, questions, anything you guys have, leave down in that comment section below. See you guys in the next video.